No, Mike Jones is like, play my song. See that? Oh, that's not Mike Jones. Hold on, man. Oh, well, I could play this.
Okay. KW be the way.
Enjoy, not to.
We stay on our grind.
Right.
We did not waste time to shine.
Who's that saying?
That's my kids. KDW in the house.
They bad. They bad. Yeah.
Shout out.
I made it. I picked up the phone and they said I was famous. Now I'm at the top and I'm faded. I swear when the haters that's hating.
Yeah, once again, it's the One Night Show. Rock Logic's in the building. Saundrea Coleman's in the building. Stan Moss is in the building.
Yes, sir.
And we are here, and we have a special guest that I will reveal a little bit later on. I'm giving y'all time to share. Everybody share. I see 7 people in the room already.
Nice.
Let me know that you're here, though, man. Put something in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Say hi. Say good morning.
Right.
Good afternoon. 59 degrees in New York City. Mostly cloudy. Traffic sucked on the Tri-Borough.
Rock Logic, weather and traffic.
I'm here, y'all. We are an informative show.
Skippy. Skippy.
We stay on our grind.
Come on, what's up with these colors?
We did not waste time to
It's the Saundrea Rock Logic show right now.
Come on.
We are color coordinated. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
We made it. One NYCHA. We made it. Come on, work with me.
Come on.
I made it.
It's the One Night Show, y'all. Sometimes we have a good time. Most of the time we have a good time. We always have a good time. Ham sandwiches for everybody.
Ooh, today? No.
Come on, man.
Hey.
Get lit
Felicia's
with
in the
us.
house. Brenda Temple's in the house.
All right.
What's up, Brenda? It's always good to see you.
Appreciate you all. Share the show. We appreciate our viewership.
Hello, Miss Patterson.
Keep better, you'll see the key. Fill it, kill it, follow your dreams. Keep it 100.
We got a lot to talk about today, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We're going to dig deep.
5 Rockaways in the building.
Yeah, why don't y'all check in where y'all from? Put in the development. If y'all are from a development, put your development in the chat. And if you're not in a NYCHA development, put your borough. We want to know who's in the room.
That's all I'm saying.
This how we doing it. Come on, bro.
That's it. We just want to know who's in the house so we can shout you out.
Yeah. And you could do like this. Brooklyn in the house, right?
See a bunch of different faces. The game is mine for the taking.
Yeah, I missed y'all last week.
Yeah.
I couldn't be around. Saundrea had to work the board.
No, the week before.
The week before, right? The last week you wasn't on?
No, we took off.
Right on.
It be like that, you know.
And that is KDW, Stan's Kids.
Yeah.
Kicking down walls.
Kicking down walls. They fire.
Word up. And there it is.
Yeah.
Once again, welcome to the One Night Show. My name is Rock Logic, and I'm in the building with Stan Morse, Saundrea Coleman. Also, Mike Jones is on the road right now looking like a Republican, but that's our
He
guy
looking
still.
spiffy.
He did. Mike Jones
That
got a
guy
haircut.
was sharp.
Yeah, Mike got a haircut, which was dope. I was like,
touched
go
him
Mike.
I touched him and I got wounded.
Did you get wounded?
I got wounded.
You got it. Oh, man.
He was that sharp.
He was that sharp.
He was that sharp.
You got cut.
Yeah.
Saundrea got an arterial bleed from Mike Jones. It was crazy, man. Oh my
Good
God.
thing there's a paramedic here. It was light. It was light.
It was light. I was able to deal with the wound by applying pressure. That's how we stop the blood. Right? Yeah, it's a good day today.
Good jokes.
Word up. Once again, Brenda Templeton's in the building. Oceanside Development fighting
Nice.
with you.
Thank you.
Against Section 8
Yeah.
and privatization.
All right.
That's how that's going down.
Right, no privatization.
That's right.
Jamaica Queens is in the house.
Thank you.
Marilyn Patterson,
That's
what's up?
right. That's right. We on the check-in. Where you from?
Word up. Kathleen Lewis is in the house.
Yes.
I would like to know, how does everyone feel about being mandated to take the, and I can't say this because they will mute us.
Right. We're not
I will
gonna
call
do
it Japan 4. For us to take the Japan 4, right? Because you can't say it now, right? Because they'll take you off Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just want to say that. And you know what, Kathleen? I ain't cool with it. I'm just telling you the truth. I think it should be a choice. 1, 2, 3, and
Ow.
One NYCHA's in the building, y'all.
NYCHA one people.
One NYCHA, one people. And we're strong. We're strong.
Yeah.
One NYCHA's strong. We've been doing a lot of work in the community. A lot of things have been going on. And we got a special guest today. But I'll tell you about my week. I'll tell you about last week was crazy for me. Because I received a citation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Give yourself some.
And I know I'm amongst my peers, right? I'm amongst my peers, Saundrea and Stan, who might have received, citations or proclamations. I've never gotten one.
Okay.
And I never expected it.
Right.
Right? It was like, damn, like y'all really giving me this for my contribution to hip hop and the things I've done in hip hop music and my contributions to the Bronx, particularly as being a pioneer, a young DJ, 14 years old, out in the streets, rocking since 77 at 10.
77.
That's a long time, brother.
And for Ruben Diaz Jr., the Bronx Borough President, to recognize me and give me the citation was just phenomenal.
Awesome.
That's great.
And I received it because of the work that I did at Jazzy J's recording studio, which was at 759 Allenton Avenue, which gave birth to a whole cornerstone of the music industry, including Fat Joe used to record there, Showbiz and AG, Brand Nubians, Diamond D.
Yeah, that's digging in the crates.
Yeah, the whole digging in the crates thing, Lord Finesse, DJ Premier used to record there, Ice Cream Tea, and then the list kind of goes on after that of the amount of artists that came to record at Jazzy J's recording studio that I had the pleasure of engineering and mixing their songs.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Also, there was a wall in Jazzy J's recording studio that every artist, and when we moved out, I'm so mad I didn't have the mindset to either take a picture of the wall or let's just take the wall, because every artist that came into Jazzy J's recording studio signed that wall.
Wow, that's history.
Heavy D was on the wall. Just everybody. Public Enemy, Chuck D's on the wall.
Wow.
If they were there.
And they were there.
Yeah,
When they came, the proof that they were there is they signed the wall.
Wow.
It was all graffitied up of everybody. So I felt good about that, talking about, my history and what I had done in hip hop and then we bridged over into the second part, which was me recording for Wu-Tang, Method Man, and recording for MOP, doing Annie Up and all those records, and Gangstar and everybody else on the planet. And Shock G, big shout out to Shock G, God Bless the Dead, Digital Underground. Working on soundtracks and stuff. So it was dope. I had a good time last week. You know what I'm saying? So that was my week, Saundrea. I finally had an interesting week.
Sitting up
always
here
have
with a
it.
legend. We got a legend over here.
You always have an
legend. Got a legend over here.
You always have an interesting week.
I just never remember it.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
I did give you some tips last time.
You did, and it was very helpful.
Write it down.
She's like, write it down, bro.
Put it on a card.
Bro, write it down.
Right.
As
But you
you go
flew.
through
You
the week.
flew today with it. You went. So it was nice.
Yeah.
But let me just ask you real quick, because I seen that there was some type of wall there. There was something there. Is there something or a mural or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
What
talk
they
about
did
it.
was an artist, and he recorded. He did the graffiti on a wall of. He did a mural
Right.
of Jazzy J.
Okay.
Right, him on the turntables, Jazzy J's recording studio, and we all took pictures in front of that mural.
Nice.
So that mural's supposed to be there forever. I had a wonderful opportunity to take a picture with one of my childhood heroes, which was Grandmaster Flash.
I saw that picture on
Right.
Facebook. Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah,
Yes, I saw that.
I've known Flash for years, and we've been cool. And I just, because he was Grandmaster Flash.
Nobody's faster.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Than the
That's
Grandmaster.
right. Grandmaster Flash. boy.
And I just never had the courage to be like, yo, Flash, can we take a picture together? So when he was there, I was like, yo, Flash, you know, we never took. He said, come on, Rock, stop, man,
That's
come
right. Come on.
I saw that picture on Facebook.
And
That's great.
I got a chance to do that, so that was awesome for me. But that was my week.
Well, I'm glad I pulled a little more out of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
See, I extracted some
Grandmaster
stuff from you.
Flash.
Yeah, so greetings all. Once again, my week is always busy and blessed, and just, you know, both weeks, you know, taking care of residents with PPE, doing distribution and stuff like that. Just going to go back to last week. On one day, I did door knocking that Saturday with Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney.
Right, I
so
saw that
she
too.
was like hitting the doors and
So
I
she
mean,
be in the streets.
oh no, she's an OG. She's no joke. She's no joke.
Wow.
And you know what? She's up for a re-election next year, and she's gonna win that race because she's not playing.
Right,
Like she's starting now, and I'm working with her team, and we're doing voter registration drives. So they're partnering with the coalition and stuff like that. So and myself as well. So we're just doing the work. So Monday I was at an event with her, and she had a it was for her campaign launch. We were in Brooklyn at the what is it called, the hotel, Williamsburg Hotel.
Right.
Very packed, great event, and the governor was there. So she was there. She spoke like fire. I didn't know this woman could speak like that. She was powerful. And I took some footage for NYCHA. I did air that, and it was just just the reception and the people that was there. From all over, because she covers three. Her district covers 3 boroughs. So she has a piece of Brooklyn, she has a piece of Manhattan, and she has a piece of Queens. So a little bit of everybody was in there. So that was phenomenal. So it was always a good time with her. On Thursday, I was with Julie Menon. I met them in our courtyard, and she had media with her, and 21 was there, and I was able to speak to a group of incoming candidates for city council that's going to be in the general that open early voting has started on yesterday.
Right.
So it was a couple of them there with Julie, and she asked me to speak about the conditions within public housing, so I did. So that was a good platform to share with the people the issues that we have in homes in Isaacs Towers, but beyond the city, because what we have there, we have it pretty much all over.
Yep.
Yesterday we had a nice event, Homes Isaacs Coalition, with the faith-based partners that we deal with, as well as the Isaac Center. We had a family fun event, and we gave away, we had food, pizza, we had a food distribution as well, games and so forth. So it was just a phenomenal day, and today marks day number 451 for UES for BLM. So we're still going strong. And I'll talk about something in closing that's happening tomorrow that you all need to try to join this meeting. All right. That's it. Stan.
Well, back to you, Stan.
Stan.
Since Rock like to do the weather, I think I do a little sports.
Okay.
As a Knicks fan now, we're 2-0.
Okay.
I think we're going to have an exciting season. The Brooklyn Nets also won a tough game also. But I'm really excited about the Knicks. We had a great season last year. We took the 4th seed, made the playoffs, didn't make a deep enough run.
Step in his game.
But I feel that with the team we have this year that we're gonna do well. But now I'll bring it back to some NYCHA stuff.
Okay.
We was in Ravenswood, so we're gonna have a community meeting in the community center this Tuesday at 7:00. So anybody living in Ravenswood, we're gonna be there Tuesday, 7:00. Bringing the information about the blueprint as always. We are against it. We understand that Mike Janaris was there at the resident council meeting, and Mike, I don't know if he was coming out strong enough against the blueprint. So as residents and as people, we got to pressure these politicians. Like, don't say you're for it or don't say you're against it. Say what you are and be steady with it, and don't go back and forth. Because I think sort of kind of that might have happened. So we got to reach out to his office and find out once again, where do you stand? But I also want to shed some light on a conversation I had with a resident. We were talking outside on Saturday, and she talked about owning her own apartment, and how residents should be able to do that. So I went and did some homework and looked up the HUD regulations, which is HUD regulation section 32. That actually does give NYCHA residents the opportunity and the ability to own your apartment.
Yes.
But there's some tricks to that. And one of the tricks is, for those who are buying into the program, that's great. For those who are not buying into the program, they can be displaced. And that may lead to displacement of tenants, which I found to be very dicey. And then the other part of it is, when you ask about doing this stuff, there's so much training that has to be given to the resident council presidents and residents themselves to even implement any of this.
Right.
You know, I have a little real estate background, so I was able to read through this stuff and kind of, you know, get a grasp of it. But if you're not a real estate professional, if you're not trained in finances, if you're not trained in all the things they're talking about in those HUD regulations, then you're not going to be able to implement them. You know, so I'm calling for deeper training, you know, to the resident NYCHA leaders,
of course,
so they can actually implement these HUD regulations that are very complex and complicated.
Yeah.
So it's like you're dangling a carrot in front of people, but you're really not telling them how to eat the carrot. You know, so really you're not really giving the power. You know, but there's power in those regulations. They got to fix your apartment, which I found incredible. If you're buying your apartment, they are mandated to repair it. Period. There's down payment assistance programs that come along to give you a down payment to buy your apartment. But the HUD regulations themselves had to be changed. It shouldn't be that for those residents who can't afford to buy their apartment or don't want to buy their apartment, they should not be displaced. There should be a situation where they're protected, you know, and so those regulations need to be amended, you know. So how does that happen? I'm going to do a little bit more homework, you know, but I'm going to get into these regulations now, you know, because we're not being taught that. And if you're not being taught that, you're not given the true key power that you have. Even resident management corporations is in the regulations, but they don't tell you really technically how to do it. So all of that needs to change. We need more training, train these leaders so we could better utilize the power that's in those regulations. That's why public housing must stay public. There's a lot of power in them HUD regulations. You know,
a lot of opportunities.
A lot of opportunities too. They don't really make you aware of. You know, so
and why is that? When you think about it, it's systemic. They want failure. You know, and we know that the history of public housing was designed to fail. It was actually not supposed to last this long. And also, shout out to my just what you're saying. Shout out to my Resident Leadership Academy colleagues, because one of them we spoke a lot, and we spoke about the training that should be done for people in leadership that you know that are in resident council, right? The presidents and so forth. And sometimes there's really no training. Like, you can take that position and you gotta either shadow somebody, or if you was already on the board, then you know some things. But if you don't, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you got to come in and implement and do your own thing. Because we do have one, because Ty, he's a resident council president, so, you know, he can speak to it. But I just wanted to add to that, you know, what you were saying. But
So we need real training on these regulations, you know, and NYCHA should be providing that to give people the power that exists in them. Now, you're right, it's systemic racism that they kind of keep it hidden from
all
you
day.
know? So that's my week.
So right now in the chat room, Brenda Temple says Adams or Silva.
Wow.
Oh no. Yeah, don't want either, but you know what? I don't want either. I'm gonna say I don't want either, but if I don't vote for Eric, right? If I don't vote for Eric, sadly, if a lot of us do that, this man can get in. The Republican.
But we don't want to see you. But Eric, you got to come out and say, are you for privatization or not? You know, that's really what I want to know. And from my understanding,
he's a real estate man, so we already know what that's going to look like.
Exactly. I don't think he is. You know, so you know that's
we're gonna be at the mansion protesting a lot.
Yeah, you better be. So
y'all be ready.
You're on the right side, Eric.
Yep. So there it is. So we're doing Adams on this one. Silva, you know,
no endorsement though. We're not endorsing like
no.
No endorsement. We're just looking at it logically.
There was a question asked,
logically, right?
And we're answering the question
logically, right?
Logically,
right.
Logically, right? And the question was asked, right? You know what I'm saying? Maria says hello, Stan Rock and Saundrea, and
Hey,
Maria
dear.
also says, Saundrea, I sent you a message.
Okay.
So you might want to check that.
Okay. All right. I'll look. Thank you. Top fan. Our top fan.
No doubt. Yeah, big shout out. And Japan 4. Once again, if you're just tuning in, please just hit up in the chat that you're there and let us know where you're from.
Right.
What development you're representing.
If you're in NYCHA.
If you're in NYCHA. And if not, just let us know where you live.
Yeah, we want to know your borough. We want to shout you out.
So, I now turn the show over to our special guest.
Yes, so
Special guest, reveal yourself.
Talk to us and tell the viewership about yourself. I just want to say I met her through her auntie, right? Yes. Auntie? Okay. Stephanie.
Stephanie. Oh,
yes,
okay.
That's her.
Great,
yeah, they
friend
reached
of mine.
out to me 10 o'clock one night.
Cool.
And we had a conversation with your aunt and yourself. And then we continued our conversation throughout the next couple of days. And bam, she's here. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Octavia Fuller. I live on 649 Malcolm X Boulevard,
Harlem.
Harlem. I work at New York Presbyterian Hospital.
Wow, okay.
I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I am going through rodent problems with rats.
Essential worker. Give us
Right,
some. Thank you
right.
for your service there.
What do you do? What do you do at a Presbyterian?
I'm a patient transport.
Okay.
Right on. That's right.
Getting them through the halls and the corridors.
Listen, I'm a
and everything.
patient transport too.
Sometimes.
They're just
sometimes.
usually dead, but I bring them to you. I bring them to you.
Funny.
All right, no, well, they are. No, okay. All right, sometimes it's an asthma attack. Okay, yeah, I do that. All
But
right.
in the ambulance, if you're in the ambulance, they not everybody ain't DOA. You bringing in everybody DOA? Come on, that's not
No,
really.
that's my partner.
Because that means we cannot. Nobody won't take your ambulance.
No.
It's doomed.
I bring them in alive. I
Okay.
do, and then she takes over. Octavia takes over, and then Octavia takes over, and then she moves them around the hospital. We are in the transportation business.
Okay, but you scary, Rob. Okay. So
Yes.
you have the issues with the rodents. So let's back up a little bit. How long you been in your apartment?
Going on 5 months on the 27th of this month.
Okay, so
5 months.
Just moved in, right?
just moved in and you have issues, really bad issues. So tell everybody about the issues, like a little bit of everything, not the rats, whatever's going on.
Can I just ask, where'd you live before that?
In a shelter.
Okay,
For 2
I just want to
years.
know. Okay, and before that?
I was living with family members.
Okay, so this is the first time you're living in NYCHA.
Yes.
So this was supposed to be a step up, and it was supposed to be better.
Yes.
Anything out of the shelter, you would
Right.
think, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You would think.
Oh
you would
boy,
Can you pause it for a second? I'm getting a little nauseous.
getting a little nauseous.
Oh, hold on.
Okay,
Wait,
we just
hold on.
switched the camera.
Let me switch cameras.
Yeah.
Hold on for 1 second.
Yeah. Take it off of you.
Yep.
Take your time, take your time,
And take your
alright?
time.
Take your time.
Spinning. I have-
Okay, take your time. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Take your time.
nah, just be easy.
Breathe. It's-
Breathe.
We good. Yeah, breathe there.
As I go to the chat room, Maria
Yeah,
says,
we'll
thank you.
Come back to you.
Verona Witherspoon Bradham says, afternoon, East Roosevelt, President, Brooklyn, West Chairwoman, thanks for the invite. Absolutely, and we're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you for showing up.
Maria says, I'm running and I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I'm learning, but I really don't know all I know. If I am elected, I'm going to be doing the best that I can. And you know what, Maria? Nobody knows what they're doing when they get elected,
Yeah.
right? You figure it out as you go along and you meet the needs of the people.
What position?
What position are you running for?
Well, let us know in the chat.
In the building? In the building? TA? Council? Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Take us down a little.
Which one is, let me know if that's you.
That's me. That's me.
That's
That's
you.
me.
Okay. All right. Is that you? Yeah.
No.
All right. That must have been Stan. So this has got to
Why
be
you
you.
had
How about
yours
that
off,
right now?
Stan?
It's too low.
There you go. How about tell me when? Tell me when.
Perfect.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Way better.
All right.
Okay.
Bet.
Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Oh, and she said she's running for president.
Okay. Cool.
That's
Well,
what
give
you're
us
doing.
something
Big shout out.
for the leap. Yeah. So when you get elected, we're gonna bring you on the show and we're gonna give you 6 months in your tenure, and then we're gonna bring you on. You're gonna come on and talk and tell us about the ride.
And you know
And
what? If there's anything else, if there's anything that we could do to help her in her
Right.
situation,
And I would say shadow or reach out to some, resident council presidents. I know some good ones if you need to speak to somebody, but it's also good to, shadow work with somebody, and you got this. You got this.
Yeah, so you'll
You
be
got
great.
this.
You'll be great. Octavia, back to you.
Feel a little better?
Yes.
Okay.
Moving into my apartment, when I was first shown the apartment, I had a couple of questions about things that wasn't done right. And when I got to my fourth question, I was given the keys and the person left.
Wow.
So they didn't answer all the questions. So everything wasn't done. And I started seeing more things in the apartment that was not put together, like the sheetrock in back of the stove, the whole wall. It did not connect to the floor. After a month of time of staying there, I seen that rodents started coming out. And what I'm saying rodents, I mean rats, big rats. And you can tell because of the tail. Not mice, rats. And I began to complain in the office, which it took 2 weeks after the time of me complaining to tell them to send somebody there. They sent an exterminator, which they said was their best exterminator, to come there. And he came and seen the holes, and he said that oh, it looks like a rat issue. It might be or it might not be. We're not sure if it's a rat. I'm going to patch up the hole, which he called his supervisor and explained that. He went on to put Brillo into the hole, and he left it just like that. He never sealed it up with any plaster or anything.
They get to push it
and
out.
left on out. I asked him, what about sealing it up completely? You know, just put Brillo in there because they'll come directly out again. He said someone else would come back. They never came back.
Someone else, always someone else.
So a ticket was put back in for someone else to come. During that time, as we went on, within a week, another rat had bit a hole near the oven part of the gas pipe. And it became to scare me that I had called the office and explained the situation and said I was scared that, you know, gas may be seeping out.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't know how to tell or not. They said, well, there's a ticket put in, but we don't have a date. So I said, what can we do about that? You know? And he said, there's nothing we can do. You just have to wait. So I've been waiting since then for now that it's causing a big problem because me and my daughter were sleeping in the bed and her father had walked in the room and it was a rat on the bed next to my daughter.
Unbelievable.
Insane.
Unbelievable.
He completely went to jump for the rat to get it out the way and startled me and my daughter, and we jumped up screaming, and he said, get out of the room. And we left out the room. Next thing you know, there was a dead rat in the room.
He kicked that rat behind. Okay.
Yeah. This is like, it's very scary. This isn't going to be fixed completely because it's in the walls and in the building, and multiple people in the building are having this problem, and they haven't fixed it yet. It's saying that it's been like this for 5 years.
Wow. And you're new here, so
Yes.
wow.
So I don't, I'm
Unbelievable.
sorry.
No.
I don't use my kitchen at all. I don't cook no food in the kitchen. Since the time of that, I have to buy food out.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
when I come in the house, because I have a 1-bedroom duplex, I come in upstairs on the 6th floor, only use the bathroom, and I go directly in the room with my daughter and tape off the bottom of the door because I can't be there. But as of now, since the rat's been found in the bed, I've been staying with my grandmother at her senior citizen home where I'm not supposed to be because
there.
it's a breach of her lease.
Okay, well, yeah.
Now, what type of development is? I know this is he's one of the brownstones. So, kind of explain to people what the brownstones are. There's a different type of building than a lot of folks in NYCHA live in.
So this is Frederick Samuels Housing, NYCHA, on 143rd Street in Lenox.
I'd like to just say that when NYCHA acquired these brownstones, to be greedy.
Right.
That's all it was, right? To have a lot of real estate. But why would you take all of this real estate and never upkeep it? Keep it, you know. So that's a really huge problem. So it's not, you know, like, even though you're going through this, it's not an isolated incident because it's just like, why would y'all do that? And when you look at the exacerbation of how repairs are not being done in the regular buildings, right? And now you also have to upkeep these buildings because I was mad. My ex-husband was a NYCHA caretaker. So they were brownstones in East Harlem that he was working in. And how he used to hate, you know, to just, and I don't use hate often, but how he had to pull the bags and how he had to fight off the rats and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's a no-brainer. Like, why would y'all just be greedy to take on something that y'all can't maintain?
Right.
It's just, y'all are like monopolizing the city with real estate, but we're suffering.
Right.
So how about sell them off, right? And I'm not saying in a privatization way. You should have never took them.
Right.
This was way before RAD and PACT and all that other mess come in. But we're going to go, can we go to the pictures?
Yeah, we can. And I want to talk to someone, Brenda in the chat room. She says, fire department, NYCHA will be forced to address it ASAP. So I guess she's saying to call the fire department.
Well, we're going to get into that too because that may not
And
be
deal
true.
with that. So we've got some pictures here.
And then we want you to narrate, you know, tell us each picture. And, you know, we're sorry that you and your little daughter's so beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, she has to go through this. So,
Yeah, let me, let's
so this
do
is going
that.
to be your ball.
This is your ball. I'm just going to kind of go through them. There are a lot of pictures. So what are we looking at here?
So this is the rat that was caught in the room,
Okay.
and it's right near the bed on the floor as of now.
Is this the one that,
Yes.
was it your
That's
husband
the one
or boyfriend
that's my husband.
that killed it
Yes.
with his bare hands?
Yes.
Insane.
Savagery.
Can't imagine that.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
can't neither.
Listen, I was an exterminator, and I couldn't have done that. He's a courageous man.
He had a glove on though, but he killed it.
He's still courageous. What are we looking at here?
This is where the radiator is in the kitchen.
Okay.
Now, as you see at the bottom there's rat traps because that's what I used to put mice traps. That's what I used to put over it at the beginning because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have anything else at that time.
Wow.
Got you. I see. So you were trying to solve the problem.
And you see it's bitten up.
Yeah, right here at the bottom where it
Yeah.
says max, there's some chew marks here, right? Okay. All right. This guy here.
Now, this was the
go
was the last hole that was done, and they're coming in and out of it every day. Every day they're coming in and out of it. This is right near my daughter's bottle warmer on the counter of the kitchen sink.
Can't make this up.
So this is in the kitchen on the counter,
Yes.
like with the stove and everything.
The
Stove
sink.
level, sink
No,
level,
This is where the stink is.
with the sink
Yes.
level. Okay.
You can't cook in there.
Yeah. Why would you? That's terrible. Okay.
That's the rat droppings that's in the living room.
My goodness.
Proof.
And actually, that's my daughter's play area.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Not anymore, right? Not right now.
Yeah, she'll get sick.
Yeah.
She'll get sick. What do we
This
have here?
is behind the stove. This is where the gas pipe is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So
And the
here,
stuffing that you see there is what I put there as far as Brillo, but it's silt now.
okay. This is you trying to fight the
Yes, at
problem.
the time.
All right. Okay.
Now that's
What is that?
So before you, I'll show you the other one. It's a picture that has a big hole in the corner. You can see at the bottom the sheetrock is not completely down to the bottom, but that's where the rats made their hole. That's their first hole that they made to come in.
How big was that hose? I see a lot of.
It's a picture.
A lot of plaster.
Yeah, yeah. We have another picture that's showing how big the hole is.
Unbelievable.
See where I'm at here. Okay.
You'll let us know when we
Yes.
That one. And this guy here.
So that's underneath the sink in the kitchen.
Okay. All right.
So that's how we silted it up.
Okay. So what
plaster.
yeah, plaster and
So-
what else?
So it was silt with glass,
Wow.
including Brillo
might be
and then
probably
plaster. But once we started seeing that it was eating through the plaster, we got cement and started putting it over it.
Wow.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
The things people have to do,
Yeah,
you know,
gotta
to
be a
do.
business person just to live in your
Yeah.
house. You gotta become a
Yeah.
business
Go
person.
figure.
That's the first hole.
That's the whole,
Oh,
right?
wow.
That's the
what the hole
doozy.
looked like before the time, and that's how they broke up the wall. And as you see, the bottom, the sheetrock is not completely direct.
Oh, you mean the rats did this?
Yes, yes.
Jeez.
That's their interest. That's their doorway, so they can go and
Right,
come.
Yeah, it looks
right?
like it looks like a door.
Yeah, that's their door.
But what's so
With
incredible?
no hinges.
You would think that because we silted up, it'll be fine, and we put cement over it. But I have another picture. I'll let you know when we get there. So that's how it looks close up.
Okay.
No, that is.
That's huge.
That's huge,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's somebody's foot can get through there.
Easily.
Almost a leg.
A small child can go through there. That's really big. That is wow. Okay, this is.
That's my daughter, Love.
Speaking of
Bless
small
her.
You
child,
shouldn't have to live like that, man.
No.
And she's 1 year old.
And we wanted, wanted to show, it was okay. I asked when
Right.
we did the flyer, was it okay? What pictures? And she said one with my daughter and I. So she
Yeah.
want to really let people see what's going on
Right.
to her family. And if it doesn't bother you that she's going through it, it should outrage you that it's her daughter
little
that
daughter,
experienced.
right?
absolutely. I probably have to download a couple more pictures, but
Okay.
that was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like inhumane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you. So, what has NYCHA proposed to actually fix this situation?
So as of Saturday, I received a call at 9 o'clock in the morning stating that he was the pest control supervisor and the management office called him for him to come to my home. He asked me what available days that I have. I told him Monday morning. He said that he'll be able to come between the times of 9 and 5. So
Now you showing me on your phone, like when people like the city comes out and it sort of kind of says it's not a problem, and even though it's so obvious that it is. You know,
Yes.
so can you talk a little bit about that? How this whole thing seems to be brushed under the rug by the city itself, including NYCHA.
So I'm completely afraid of being in my home, and when the pest control come, I don't believe that they're going to do the correct job that they're supposed to be doing. as you look online and you see the inspections that the pest control have done lately, it says as of 9/14, they passed an inspection for the building. As of 9/30, which isn't that far from the 14th, they bait was applied. And then as of 10/15, bait was applied. So they're continuously passing an inspection for this building, and it's infested with rats.
Yeah, they can't.
That should be a
That's
scandal
fraud.
in and of itself.
That's a
fraud.
fraud,
That's
yeah.
straight up fraud.
Yes.
You can't give it a pass when the issue's not resolved.
Right.
So this job has not been done.
When it's rat free.
And I'm afraid that he's going to come to my apartment on Monday and pass an inspection for my apartment, and it's not no way that I'm supposed to be living
Right.
in that apartment.
No.
Or nobody else.
Yeah, Maria says she needs to get a lawyer. I would have called Monica.
Well,
Monica was
I
called.
put her in touch with Monica. Monica didn't get back to her yet. So with that said, we are not mainstream, but we are black media.
Black
and
media.
what we do is we give you a full show. And you know what? Mainstream media, when they do put you on, that's cool. And you get a few minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes, and it's all spliced and chopped up. This is live and uncut. One NYCHA.
right.
So yeah, but you know she's in touch with Monica. Monica didn't get back with her yet, so I definitely gave her Monica's direct number because I know Monica.
Yes.
Right. And one thing I found interesting, we were talking about this building is being transferred over to Rad Pack.
Yes.
You know, so I want folks to pay attention to that. Is that here?
So what is that
That's
exactly?
privatization of NYCHA. So that's the first part. But they took 1/3 and now maybe more of NYCHA buildings have been put into the Rad Pack program. So that was their first thing they came with before the blueprint. You know, so as they doing this and the building's converted, you see still the problems remain, and you see still the mismanagement, you know, that's happening to residents, you know, as we've been hearing around the city and other developments that have been turned over to Rad Pack. The problems persist. You know, so for those who think this is going to be a better situation,
Right.
Well, here you're hearing it right now,
Right.
probably not.
And I believe she said it's in the transition,
Right, in
like
the transition.
2022.
Right.
So because she still rent, we didn't got to go, but
Right.
rent is paid to NYCHA still. So,
Right.
Right. So it's not, the conversion is in its works.
Right.
But but it also shows us that they allow the property, they allow the apartments to decay, right?
Well, it's part of the plan.
Well, aside
Right.
from that, our incinerators are trapped off, that we cannot throw away garbage at all.
Right.
We have to throw it outside of the building.
Which helps the rat
So
problem.
how long is that? Because that's the rat problem, right?
Yeah, that's
I moved
another.
in.
That's more of a rat problem. Yeah.
For how long?
Since I moved in,
What is wrong with the incinerator?
I don't know. What I was explained is that it's so much garbage that's attracting the rats that they closed it off completely. So
And then they
now
just put it
have to go to
outside.
the
That's
building,
backwards.
Which
But then
the
it
rats
makes it-
run
yeah.
from the front of the building where the garbage is.
Are they no longer burning the trash?
No,
I
they
don't
don't. They don't. They can't. That's all right.
Is it? Okay.
That's been
That's the 70s.
Yeah.
Was to burn the trash, and down south we still burn the
Yeah,
trash.
it's compact. It's pushed.
Compacted.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So it's
the-
called a compactor now, right? So they crush, and then they drag the garbage out, and it goes on trucks and wherever.
So I mean, does our building not have a compactor?
they sealed it up. They
They
closed
sealed
it
it
up.
Every floor.
They closed it up.
What the blood clot
Yeah,
team going on
that's-
here?
yeah, but that's common in other developments too.
McKinley houses,
right,
remember?
It's common.
I was in McKinley houses. I did. Matter of fact, that was Saturday before we didn't. The week we didn't shoot. That Sunday, I took a trip to my old development, McKinley houses, and I did a little footage from the podcast. But their compactors were closed, and when their compactors were closed, you should just see the conditions out there. It was horrible. Garbage all in front of the building. Like
Right.
it's literally. It looked like a landfill. And then, with that said, can you imagine having somebody come visit you and got to go past that?
Right.
Unacceptable.
So the hospital pretty much said this apartment should be condemned. Is that kind of what the report says you got from the hospital?
Yes, I have a documentation from the supervisor social worker stating that I can't live there because of my health and my daughter's health.
Wow.
So this is like an emergency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
This
That's
is
So
what
it's
she
an
wants.
environmental
It states-
problem.
She
It
wants-
states directly on there that I must have emergency
She
transfer.
wants a transfer, emergency transfer. She deserves one.
right. So so when you went to the management office and you showed them this document.
Yes.
And so what did they say when they saw this document?
They stated that they gave me a sheet to fill out for emergency transfer, and they gave me a list of buildings, and they explained that The buildings that didn't have double A's, that meant that if you had a double A on the building, it stated that our apartment, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, it says that basically is vacant. If it's an A on it, that means that it may become vacant, but they're not quite sure.
So they want you to do the footwork.
Yeah, and they didn't have no available apartments in none of the buildings in Manhattan at all. Queens.
I got
And
something
that's so untrue.
Yeah, I got something interesting in the chat room. Kathleen Lewis says sometimes the compactor is closed because there are so many rats. It's dangerous for the caretaker to bag the garbage. Brenda Temple, Maria says, I spoke to the borough office and I told them most of the tenants were against the blueprint, and so was I. And he's trying to convince me that it's good, but I said I watch the media and I read the news. So
Brenda?
that's Maria.
Okay.
Brenda says intentional systemic racism, pure evil. I mean, all of this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the problem is that the rats are in the compactor, then the solution is to exterminate the compactor, right? Isn't that the solve?
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
The compactor rooms always had rats. So to shut it off, that's not the reason. They shut it off for whatever reason because they always had rats.
They're running down in the basement
Yeah,
area.
right. So that's like a no-brainer. But they should put the bait down. They should be doing like Rock said, remediating it. Getting rid of it. So, but yeah.
So of 2021, there was an area in the front of the building that the rats would run in. Now they closed up and sealed it.
Okay.
And now they have nowhere else to run but downstairs where they get the garbage from.
So that
that's how
actually
they come
compounds the
inside the
problem.
building.
Makes it even worse inside for those inside the building.
Right. And then they're working their way up the walls,
Right.
and they probably climbing the outside and coming through windows because they can. Because let me tell you something, a squirrel. I lived on the 20th floor in Holmes Towers years ago, and a squirrel was at my window,
Right.
and I had a cat at that time, and this cat went, it raised up, and I looked, and because I had a screen in the window. The squirrel, because I don't know, the squirrels can climb 20 flights.
Oh, yeah.
So if they could climb, I know the rats can do it too.
Right.
And come on and make themselves at home, mice and rats. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, we need to apply as much pressure as we can. I guess we'll talk about it.
yeah,
but,
we will. We're gonna help.
And the other residents, are you finding residents being afraid to speak up and speak out? I know
Yes.
there's been some intimidation of residents.
Right. Have you received any intimidation?
Have you seen that?
Yet.
Most of them are scared to speak up,
Right.
and majority of them, they'll talk to me about it. And most of them have rats in their apartment too.
Yeah. It's
That they
unacceptable.
say that they go and trap themselves off in a room as well and just leave it for the rats. That's been there past 5 years.
You cannot be paying rent, right? And I'm just saying in general, not just you, anybody. You cannot be paying rent, and the rats have more of a say in your house.
Right.
Yes.
Because they're not paying no rent.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, apparently
they're
not.
intruders.
Yeah.
They're intruders. But
Invaders.
I mean, yeah,
It's unhealthy for me to be going
course.
to restaurants and buying food for my child.
it's
She's supposed to be
it's
able to eat.
expensive. Like, yeah, they should move. As I said, when over the phone, they should take all of you all out, put y'all in if they can fix it up, take all of you all out, put y'all up in a hotel for as long as it takes. And fix it, and then y'all can move back, and it'll be rat free and rodent free and bug free. It's all the same
The
stuff.
whole
But
street, the rats run back and
yeah,
forth.
well, the city does have a problem, but anytime you close the compactor and you allow the garbage to be set outside, and if they don't have like the Rubbermaid, like the really thick,
Right.
or the bins to really and hold it as well as the good durable garbage bags, because they can go through the bags. But NYCHA does have some really good durable bags. Like it's a real good bag that they can't really, or they're not supposed to be able to go through. But that's crazy.
I mean, Brenda Temple, she says more frequent garbage pickups from building and dump sites. Need to hire more workers, and hold sanitation accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, and they should be. And obviously, there's somebody at the top
Right.
that is regulating the garbage pickup in NYCHA.
And they have a schedule. That's probably part of it too.
Right.
They have a schedule. So
That-
that means, cause garbage, since this pandemic, I know everybody has seen garbage on the sidewalks
Right.
Because I know on the Upper East Side it's out there. So,
Right.
like for days. Because
Right.
it's scheduled. Like garbage is not picked up every day.
Yeah, and I mean,
Now it should be.
Yeah, we
I want
have
to
a
be
bad problem
really,
in New York.
I want to be really transparent about this because I live in a neighborhood that we have a development across the street, right? And it's Woodside, right? It's a white neighborhood, and there's no trash on the streets. There's just no trash on the streets. Like they pick up the trash over where I live every Tuesday. They come and they get the trash like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? So it's obvious that we're talking about systemic racism when we talk about this situation because, you know, and just to be clear, in the white neighborhoods, there's not a trash problem. There's just not.
On the Upper East Side it is.
Right.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah,
but
you understand what I'm saying? I mean, well, you know, as I cruise through Queens, when I'm in Queens and I go into Fresh Meadows and there's a development, there's NYCHA at Fresh Meadows, right? I don't see no garbage.
Well, see, NYCHA can take their trash and they take it to a landfill or wherever they do it. They drive it somewhere or they put it. They have a dump. They have another area. Like we have a
Right.
dump in the back, and then I guess sanitation comes there and get it. So we don't see sanitation pull up and pull all that out. But in some of the neighborhoods, that garbage is probably housed until it. Because remember, they won't put it out till they know sanitation
It's gonna
is
come and get
coming.
it. Yeah,
because if you put it out, then the rats will get to it
Right.
quicker. So,
It's out every day though.
huh?
It's out there every day.
Of course, because they don't have to compact and they're not doing their job.
And now you're living in it, right?
Yeah.
And I will say this, that, you know, in any situation, there always has to be sacrificial people, right? So the Upper East Side, where they're all white people, they are the sacrificial people. Because when you go out into other areas, I'm just telling you, Arthur Avenue, I was in the Bronx, Arthur Avenue, there's no trash out there. You know what I'm saying? So this is deliberate. You know, and those are all the Italians that live up there. You go uptown to where the Albanians are, and there's developments up there. You're not seeing the trash, right? So this is a deliberate act in service, in denying services that I'm driving at. You know what I'm saying?
And poor management.
And
It has
poor management.
Poor management up and down.
So I like Brenda's idea. I'm like, if you ain't got enough people to pick up the trash, hire more people to pick up the trash.
Right.
Increase the sanitation pickup.
Right.
I mean, there's a little bit of everything you have to do. There's a lot of working parts to it. Yeah.
Because what you're saying, Saundrea, what you're saying is, okay, so the compactor is closed.
Right.
Right? So then there has to be a two-part solution to that. There has to be, okay, they're closing the compactors in NYCHA. We need to increase trash pickup to deal with the volume.
And there's garbage bins in front of the building that overflow.
Right. And that's the problem too.
Yes.
Right.
So now, have any elected officials been notified of this? I guess that's kind of what we're gonna have to do. But has any elected officials been notified of the issue? And if so, have they done anything or not?
I contacted multiple people from the state building, the president of the councilman. I went to the Al Sharpton office.
Oh, man.
I contacted multiple people from NYCHA that I just sent emails. No one has, no.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to hit
Yeah.
the chat room for 1 second.
we gotta
Kim Kirkland says, Jackie Kimchi says, different neighbors have different mentalities, 100%. That's a definite. There's no doubt about that. And how they deal with things, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and as what you saying that, I actually brought the stuff out of my pocket. I used my money to go and try to figure out a way to try to fix this situation. You understand? Because they weren't coming. So, you know, you can't come by a 1-bedroom duplex really too much.
Right,
And that was
right.
like just lovely for me to move in. So I didn't want to like have this situation to have to move out. So I tried to fix it. It's impossible.
Well, it was
now.
home, and it's home, right? You
Yes.
came from one environment into another, and who wants to keep moving? Nobody.
True.
Right.
And it
You know?
sounds like the night's apartment was actually worse than the shelter. Is that what you would?
Absolutely.
The hazardous home
Wow,
conditions.
isn't
yeah.
it? Let that marinate for a while.
Yeah.
Let that marinate. For a
Yeah,
while.
living in a shelter is better than living in NYCHA.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bad
And they
narrative.
actually knew that this apartment wasn't
Of course.
good enough for me to live in
course.
because there was a person that lived before me in the apartment and she ran away from she
Right.
ran out the apartment because of the rats with her child and had to find somewhere else to live.
So they obviously knew.
Yeah, of course
obviously,
they
and
did.
This is
Of
insane.
course they
this
did.
is sick and
And
insidious.
it's,
Right.
it's not just me, it's multiple people
Yeah.
in the building that has rat problems. So they
Right.
do know. They just don't want to fix it.
Well, I mean, it just seems like it's going on all over the city. Really,
That's like
right?
moving a family in, moving a family out. Eleanor Bumpers,
Right,
To be
yeah.
exact, moved her out of an apartment that would tested positive for lead into a new apartment that tested positive for lead. So what
Right.
does that tell you?
Yeah, shell game. right?
I mean, it's criminal.
They don't give a damn.
Molly.
Right.
They don't give a damn.
No, they don't care. They don't care. It's not. And here's our issue, right?
Yeah.
Where's our fight, right? Because it's like the way I see it, right, is that the fight is really above anybody that we're in contact with. The fight is at the top, and who is at the top? Who is at the top? Who do we go to that is at the top? You know, I know you got Russ. What's his name?
Greg Russ.
Greg Russ, right? And he ain't the top. There's somebody above him that we got to get to
Mayor.
to change this,
The mayor.
right?
The mayor,
Mayor,
also, the head of HUD, the secretary of HUD, Marsha Fudge, I believe. So
Yeah.
this is where the fight has to go. And then this is why also the Joe Biden infrastructure bill is so important. You know, and I know they're fighting again.
And I'm hearing it's not doing that well.
Right, and so they're cutting it, and I dare say, do not cut the funding for NYCHA.
But that's
to my
what's
understanding,
happening.
I'm hearing, that if that does happen, then we got to really go to the streets, because at the end of the day, HUD is responsible for this. Biden, you got put in office because a lot of black people and black women in particular voted for you to get in.
Straightened you out, bro.
Straighten out. So if we're not going to be voting for folks and then get treated like this, we want returns on our vote. We vote.
Right.
We want what we supposed
You work
to
for
get.
us. You work for us. Get it done.
So
Nobody should
who's
be suffering.
the person that runs HUD now? Because it was the Ben Carson dude. Fudge.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, the call should be, and the letters should be, and the email should be to him.
Well, to
Her,
her.
the female.
To her. Right. That's
sister.
kind of
A
how
woman
I
of
feel
color.
about it.
Black woman.
Well, I feel that the
Right.
pressure needs to put on that woman of color. Right. That she needs to come and address these issues that we're having in NYCHA. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It does. I mean, everybody else just seems like it's, you're not talking. I like to go straight for the juggler, right? I like to go straight to the person that I'm dealing with. Let me deal with you and let me get it straightened out. Because then I know if I can't get it with you, my situation is hopeless. Or there's bigger things amiss that I might not be aware of.
And I just want to also point out, when you think about the privatization, like the way you described it, is that the building really should be torn down because it's so rat infested.
Yes.
So when they actually do the work, it's just my guess, as I'm seeing how it's happening in all the other rat converted buildings, if you're not really going into the walls and fixing issues and really getting the rats out, if you give me a nice cabinet or if you give me a nice stove, but you still have rats running around in the wall, then you really giving me nothing, but you privatized my development and took it out of NYCHA, but I'm still living in a condemned situation. And so that's
I would like to explore this a little bit. Because then there's got to be an end result with that, doesn't there? Right? So if they're privatizing the buildings, what is the objective?
Well,
with these messed up apartments.
I mean, the reality of it is, and it's sad to say, is that they're letting you live like this on purpose. In order to privatize, the buildings and the apartments have to get so bad that they cannot pass a HUD inspection. Obviously, this can't pass an inspection. So then they leave you with the only so-called option, which is we don't have the money, and this is so horrible and terrible that we got to go to private people like they've done in your case, and eventually they're going to come and supposedly eradicate the problem when they're really not. They're going to turn your apartment into a market rate apartment for the most part.
Of course.
And they're not going to really get in there and solve the issue. And they're really hoping someone like yourself would give up and say, I can't take it, I'm gone.
Right, move out.
And
so it can be a market.
Now you have a market rate apartment, and then they might come.
A duplex at that.
Right. This is high.
That's
this
top
is
dollar.
valuable.
Yeah.
Your apartment's probably worth about $2,000 and better in Harlem.
One bedroom, yeah. Duplex is probably, $2,500
It'll become
or something.
privatized, and then it will be fixed up for somebody else. It was never intended to be fixed for us.
Right.
So the reality is, right, that your apartment could be fixed.
Of course.
Of course.
But it won't be fixed for you.
That's what they're
For somebody, unless we fight and get it
to
fixed.
get it fixed.
We
But
don't
if she
fight.
moves out,
Then they will
they
fix
win.
it
Right.
They win.
for someone
But
else.
here's the thing. Even if they fix her apartment for her and you move back in. And like we said, there's rats in the wall. If they don't go into the walls and get the rats out, what happened? They're going to die in the walls, right? If they don't get out. Then you're stuck in a house, an apartment with a funky smell.
Yeah,
Right.
funky.
I mean, like that is unbearable.
Right.
So what do you do then? You can't burn incense and forever.
Right.
You know, so
There's 2 brownstone buildings, which is my building, and they have another building connected to mine. That other building has rat problems as well.
And they're all under the same.
Yes.
Wow.
I just want to be clear for people that might not understand. You live in a brownstone
Yes.
that is owned by NYCHA,
Yes.
right? That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to be clear for
Yeah,
people that might
yeah,
not
they
understand
acquired
that.
it.
That we're not talking about
Valuable
like
property.
yeah,
we're not
definitely,
talking
definitely.
about, you know.
Probably in the
Definitely.
millions. You know,
Right.
if you actually was
Oh
appraised.
yeah, your
with the
apartment's
building.
like
somebody buy that building. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, your apartment's like $4,000 a month. Yeah, easy,
Yeah,
easy.
duplex. When it's habitable.
Right, when it's habitable. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Let me read y'all what Secretary Fudge put on Twitter yesterday, and then I'll put what I put. So she wrote, retweet if you believe housing is a right, not a privilege. I put in her status, and I retweeted it. I said, as we that are fighting for housing justice say and know that housing is a human right.
Absolutely.
Like, housing is a human right. Like,
Right. And it is a.
she says housing is a right. No, it's a human right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, don't forget that, lady.
Right.
We all
right.
need a place to live.
Yeah.
As a human, because what you're going
Exactly.
through is inhumane. No human being should be living like this
No.
in the so-called one of the richest cities in this country.
And she runs
in
HUD.
the world.
She runs HUD.
She
Yeah,
run, right.
yeah.
Okay, then she needs to come on the show.
She was trying
What's
to
she
get
trying to
some
talk about?
tweets. No, she was saying something. I get what she's saying. That is a right, not a privilege. But honey, you need to add a human right.
Okay.
Because that's what we say as comrades. Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. We understand what it is. Because just saying it's a right, everything, civil rights, there's all kinds of rights.
Right.
But it's a human right. Make it, put a little more on it. So
Here's my question. If this is what she's saying, and she's the one that runs HUD,
exactly.
okay, so why aren't you fixing it?
And
You
she
sound
can't-
like
and she can't
you
be-
complaining.
And she can't be tagged.
Right? Yeah. It sounds like she's a resident
I'm gonna send her the show.
that's complaining about it.
I'm gonna send her our show.
Right? Instead of saying, okay, I run this ship, right? How do I correct it? What programs am I going to institute and implement to make this thing right? Sound like she's a resident, like housing is a right. Whether she says human
She wants
right,
you to retweet it.
right? Whether it's a human right or right, she sounds ridiculous to me
Right. Wow.
because you run it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You the boss.
So
Yes,
privilege.
please.
So as you stated that you feel as if they should put us in a hotel
Yeah,
if
definitely.
they fix up. That's like I'm in a shelter again.
Right, yeah.
You understand?
Right.
'Cause
But if they can get it done in a month and you can move back
So-
into a happy,
that won't be done in
yeah,
a month.
right.
So
Oh, we got
what-
some in the chat
what-
room.
We have more than
I
one
think we have
building.
I think we have a
Right.
solution here in the chat room. It's interesting. Verona Witherspoon says Bar Schwartz, NYCHA Federal Monitor, 415 Madison Avenue, 11th floor. Phone number 347-809-5555.
He was tagged for our show.
NYCHA Monitor.
He was tagged for our show. I already tagged him for our
So
show.
what would you want to happen? What's the solution for
They
you
have
for you and your
investigators.
family?
Yeah,
what
they do
would
have
you
investigators.
what would you want to happen?
I need to be accommodated.
Yeah.
I was in a shelter for 2 years. You understand? I just had my child. I shouldn't have to
Right.
move into something like that. In
Right.
that case, they should have never moved me in.
Exactly.
There. I should have
Left you
stayed
where
in
you
the
was
shelter
at.
until they had somewhere proper for me to live.
I agree. So can you look into the camera and speak to the HUD secretary? Speak to what's his name?
Bart Schwartz.
Bart Schwartz is the
Greg
Russ.
Eric Adams.
Right. Yeah, the incoming possible mayor. Like
Everybody.
speak to people, your elected officials. When you look in the camera right now, or when you're speaking right now, this is your shot to say what you're going through, what you want for you and your neighbors, and your daughter.
And your daughter.
Talk. Tell us.
I'm going to fight, and I'm going to keep on fighting because this is wrong what y'all are doing. It's already low income. Why do we have to deal with that? It's terrible. We have to move in there with our children, everything. This is sad. This can't be life. This can't be life.
Wow.
Let me ask you, how does this affect you mentally? Because I know this sounds traumatic. I mean, I can't.
That should be a
imagine
T-shirt.
if
This
I
can't
go-
be life.
If I go into my room and see a rat on a bed, how does this affect you mentally? How does that affect you mentally?
Fully emotional because my child shouldn't have to grow up in something like this. I understand it's NYCHA, but it doesn't have to be like this. Remind you, I have multiple health issues and I shouldn't have to deal with this. And I'm shaking every day. I have anxiety. It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
And was some of the health issues brought on because of where you're living? Did that make the health issues worse?
Or does it exasperate it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My
what
anxiety
you said,
got 10 times worse.
Yeah, exasperate.
yeah.
Kathleen Lewis says, beautifully said.
Yeah. That's a what they call it?
A slogan.
That's a lawsuit too.
Oh, yeah,
From what
sorry.
you're going through, your mental health, the distress, emotional
And
distress.
I'm sure it's impacting your daughter. I mean, at the age of that age,
can't
you know,
play.
Well,
right, you
she's
can't-
uncomfortable because at the beginning we was moving house to house, and now I'm at my grandmother's house. You understand? It's not home. It's not home.
Shaquem Harris says, it's the
that's my
whole
father.
4 blocks. That's your father? That's your
My
father?
husband.
Your husband. Shaquem's in the house.
Okay.
What's up, brother?
Shaquem, baby.
No, give him something for catching that rat. Give him something. Give him that
Yeah,
beat. Give him the beat.
you know what?
For catching that rat.
Shaquem, you deserve the beat. Because
Thank you,
you
thank
caught the
you.
rat with your bare hands, baby. That's
With a
a
glove.
lot.
She said he had a glove on,
I'm
but
sorry.
we appreciate it.
with a glove. Like he's a super exterminator.
Right?
He says it's the whole 4 blocks from 141st and up
Tell us.
to 144th between 7th and Lenox. It's all like that. It's all like that.
And all of those are NYCHA brownstone buildings?
Yes, they take Frederick Douglass. Frederick Samuels.
Unacceptable.
Yes, all
Wow.
of their buildings.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta get those residents motivated. First I want to say to you that you're a leader. You know that you came on the show and you spoke out. I know a lot of people are afraid to do that. You know, so I want to commend you for doing this, and hopefully it will inspire your neighbors to say, you know what, if we all band together, you guys could have group lawsuit against NYCHA. You know, we could talk about some of those possibilities. You also have the right not to pay your rent. You know, if folks are living in these conditions and you're not wanting to pay your rent, you know, you are within your legal right because they breach their responsibility to provide you with a home to pay rent for. You know, so we want to really talk to these residents and really get them to surround you because you by yourself is powerful, but you with all the other residents that are going through this together, standing up, is going to get to make the noise and make the difference we need to have in this case.
And the crazy thing is you have a great job. Presbyterian's a great hospital.
Thank you.
Right? You're not what people portray NYCHA residents to be.
Stigma of NYCHA.
Right, the stigma of NYCHA.
Which it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Whether you work or not, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the point, really. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when we do these shows and people have a perception of NYCHA residents, it's always this stigma that they're on welfare and they don't work. And, you know, and these are real, and I'm saying this from a standpoint that these are real conversations that I have with real people. You know what I'm saying? I had that conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and he's like, oh, you know, the NYCHA people, they want more, and they're getting all of these things, and, you know, and I'm sitting looking at him like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about.
He needs to know that the NYCHA people is your essential worker. The NYCHA people is the person that probably taught your child in grade school.
Right.
The NYCHA people is your sanitation worker.
Right.
The NYCHA people is your municipality workers. They work
Right.
in the police department. They work in government offices. Like, we are everywhere.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I really had to correct his misconception. I said, you know, people in housing are not non-productive members of society.
And everybody's not dirt poor neither.
And everybody's
It's
not dirt
middle
poor
to
living there.
moderate income.
Right.
Middle to moderate.
So I may not even have an income because of this situation.
Right,
and I
right,
haven't had nowhere for my child to be babysit at. So I
Right.
have to keep her every day.
Wow.
Say that part again now. What happened?
I
we
haven't
need
been
to
to
figure
work
that out.
since the situation.
You have not been able to go to work?
She don't have no child care. She needs child care.
Yeah, and it was in my home.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, we need to correct that.
Well, we
No,
got
this-
you. We
this-
got
this
you.
is-
We
this
got
is
a lot of
fight.
work to do this week,
Yeah,
Stan.
yeah,
Answer
yeah.
the phone,
Yeah,
Stan.
I'm
I'm
gonna
recalling
answer
you.
your call, yeah.
We gotta do some work.
Yeah.
We gotta
I'm
do
just saying, if, you know, maybe we can find
No, we
a
gonna
daycare situation or
I've been trying to
reliable.
look.
Oh, maybe we'll look too, right? And maybe we can find something to try to fix your situation because nobody should lose a job because they don't have childcare.
Yes.
And so is your
That's where she
job?
was
Are
being-
they
She got-
waiting for you to? Are they still? Are they holding the job for you?
I just contacted them on Friday and I put in for a leave to see if it's going to be approved because of this situation. I'm not sure if it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
we
have
need
to
to
wait
get.
five business days.
And the crazy thing is, she works in the most desirable hospital in the city for people to work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, Presbyterian's number one. Everybody wants to work in Presbyterian. So to lose a job opportunity like that is a
Because of your
tragedy.
apartment.
Yeah, because the apartment
this
is a
is-
tragedy.
But all of that, she's not going to lose it. If she does, all of that goes into the lawsuit, lost wages.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
will be compiled. Honey, you might be suffering now, but at the end is a rainbow.
Yeah. No, we got
some stuff for you. Yeah.
Your husband says, whatever it takes to protect my family. That's what he
Amen.
says.
All right.
Kathleen Lewis says, I live and work for NYCHA.
Okay.
In other words, she's saying it's still not cool.
Yeah.
And she lives and works in NYCHA.
Yeah.
Maria says, amen. You are 100% right. I mean, anything to protect your family. And what's tragic is your enemy is housing where you live. Right. That's your war zone. You live in the war zone. That's a tragedy.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a war zone, in its totality.
Yeah, I mean those pictures were just. I mean, my God. Well, we've definitely hit the hour, y'all.
It's hard. Yeah.
We've hit the hour. It went fast. You were spectacular
Yes, you
I
are.
told you.
and courageous.
Yeah.
And courageous because not everybody has the heart to come on a podcast and with viewers and expose their situation. And first to help yourself, but two also that maybe you might inadvertently help someone else.
Always,
You know what I'm saying? And how I feel about it is, guys, and you guys in the chat room and you listen on Spotify and all these other platforms to the show, I just feel like there needs to be a real unification and a one fist kind of a vibe to really overcome this situation. I know there are different personalities in different organizations, but that doesn't help. What the only way to really overcome this situation in any situation in war is numbers, is volume, is people, and it's people moving in one direction to stop the opposition. The opposition divides us always. They divide us always because they know if we're divided, we can't fight. But all those organizations that are out there, the organizations out in Rockaway, the organizations out in Jamaica, the organizations in Fresh Meadows, in Harlem, all those organizations, right? In the Bronx, those organizations, we got to come together as one thing. And I mean, and really be standing on the steps of City Hall, millions of us standing on the steps of City Hall or at the HUD office saying, we're not going to take this stuff no more.
Yeah.
That's the move to me.
I would speak for the work I've been doing and been doing it since 2015. We do come together when, we do have citywide events and we do come together. But I know with any organization, no one's going to lose their identity. So we're not and I'll give you the example of there's the armed forces, right? You have the Marines, you have the Army. They all keep who they are. So we do come together. And June 10th, a lot of us was right there at Foley Square. I mean, so many organizations were there. And we've done the citywide march. We did, the coalition. We had several. So people we come together, but then there's also different campaigns that different organizations are working under, because I personally believe we can't be swallowed as one, because that's just not going to happen.
Correct.
Because you're not going to lose. Let's just say Boardwalk Global Media. You don't want to get swamped, pulled into another thing to lose your identity.
Right.
You still want to stand, but you can work with the other entity. So what you're saying, I agree, but I just have to say that we still deserve and we will keep our separatism, but we will work together. Because we do that. Yeah.
Listen,
I just wanted to be clear on that.
Listen, that's what the entire United States is built
Yeah.
on. each state is actually its own individual thing.
Right, but they come
right?
together.
But you're still Missouri,
United States.
right? But we are the United States.
Supposed to be the United
Correct.
States.
Right?
We ain't on that
supposed to.
united right now.
we never been united. We never been united.
That's the ideology of it, right? That each state is its own thing, and then we are the United States, right? That's what we are. So I'm only saying, I'm like, listen, we need like a 2 million man march on HUD, right? We need to be at the HUD office, wherever the HUD office is, and we need like a 2 million man march on HUD where we're all standing out there as one people. Hold up your sign, hold up your banner, hold up your organization.
Yeah.
But let's come together and be heard as one thing, right? Where it matters.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like this thing matters if we go to the HUD, right? Forget the mayor, because obviously that's nothing, right? Let's just go to the head of the beast and stand out there, 2 million people strong, all over the country, because housing's all over the country.
Right.
It's all public housing, and we march on Washington.
Yeah.
And we do that. We did that to unite black people, right? That's what Farrakhan did. We can have that same fight and maybe, just maybe, we might actually make an impact.
Well,
Yeah,
we are.
it's
'Cause we're not going to lose this fight.
Yeah, of course
We're
not.
going to. We're going to win this fight.
Yeah.
It's a long fight.
Yeah.
They want us to be beaten down. They want us to be discouraged. They want us to believe there's never going to be no hope. You know, I'm just saying that's not true. You know, we are human beings.
Correct.
We have a lot of power. There's a lot of power in these HUD regulations that they don't let us know about, and we're going to fight back.
Yeah.
And we're going to get justice for you.
But unification is everything.
Yeah, you have to come together.
Yeah, unification in war is everything. You have to unify. The individual forces, the individual organizations have to come to a common place to unify, to show that we're tired of this. We are tired. I despise those pictures that you showed.
Yeah.
That your child lives in that, right? That's my fight, right? My fight is that. My fight is everybody that lives in NYCHA that is going through that, right? My fight has never been interorganizational. My fight is the people that I see, and I don't live in NYCHA, right? But I'm a human being.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, and I'm seeing other human beings being mistreated, right? So to come together is just the unification of just people coming together and organizations coming together as on one day for one moment in time that everybody, the world can see and know that in the United States, the greatest country in the world, that in the United States, that this is how they treat their citizens that live in public housing.
Third world country.
Right? Like we're in a third world country. That it ain't all gravy when you come here. You know what I'm saying?
The richest city, one of the richest city.
Right? So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I just think that should be a fight that needs to be had.
And what I would say too is a blessing in this fight. You've been doing it a while, Stan, as well as myself for a long while. That we don't just have NYCHA people fighting with us, right? We have people that live in private buildings,
right? You
know, like the Seeker movement. A lot of them are not from NYCHA, and some of them are from NYCHA. But that's what makes it unified, because it's man and woman, you know, coming together with us that lives in public and or private housing,
right?
And that's the unification first and foremost, because people see it and it bothers them. You know, so because Seeker's one of the longest ones. Goals, good old Lower East Side has been out for a long time. Justice for All Coalition, y'all got some time in. I don't know how many years, and we're kind of So we're like a little bit under y'all, the Homes Eyes. So it's different organizations. But what I do wish is I see these people and I fight with them, and then some of them are gone. Like they just left the fold. They don't fight with it. You know what I mean? Because it's really disheartening to people to see the struggle, right? And or everybody doesn't have the wherewithal. Like I've been in it since 2015. Stan can speak how long he's been in it. You know what I'm saying? Like fighting against privatization and for funding and stuff like this for betterment, you know? And then there's people that's been, Dr. Lenore Fulani and them from Seeker, been in it longer than us, you know, longer than a lot of us. And I'll say goals again, but everything changes hands. But we can never, it doesn't seem like we have the same people that you see in the fight. Some is still there, but some have left the fold.
Right.
You know, and that's troubling, but I get it. It's a defeatist attitude, or man, it ain't gonna happen. It's just gonna they're gonna be sold. It's gonna be privatized. No. Long as we continue to fight, long as we continue to do shows like this one, NYCHA, and bring it to the forefront and bring people in to see the humanistic side of it. Oh, there is hope. There is hope.
Win.
Yeah, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it together.
And I'm in it. I'm like, I want to do the march.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we did this platform and we started from nothing. Mm-hmm. We started from one viewer.
Yeah.
And every week I'm looking and there's 6, 7, 8, 1,000 people that watch this show. So
making an impact.
So if we can do that,
You
then
gotta
we
just
can
plan it.
we
Just
can
gotta
organize a march
Of
too.
course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want everybody to know that there is help, and I'm grateful that I found y'all to help me.
Awesome.
Nah.
Thank
This
you.
ain't-
And
this ain't-
your
this
husband
ain't- this ain't
says-
the end. This is the beginning. This
And your
is
husband
the
says,
start.
thanks for, sorry, I got a little teary-eyed. Thanks for giving us this opportunity to share our lives with y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alan Cox says it's a
Hey,
human rights
Sika.
issue, right?
Yeah, what's
Sika.
up,
Sika in the
What's
house.
up?
That's
Dr.
right.
Fulani.
Yeah, Sika.
Yeah, we have
we,
talked up Sika, Brenda, Allen.
and we Sika,
Yeah.
Alan, we all need to really have a conversation to really organize
Yeah, we
something.
will. We will. We
right?
do stuff, and
And
we
you
do.
guys, you guys are greater than me, right? You're greater than me because you guys been in the fight a lot longer than me. But I definitely think that a march on Washington with millions of people from all over the country, there's no doubt that that would make an impact, especially if we go there with an agenda. And that agenda is, you know what? Not only are we marching on Washington, but across the nation, we're going to stop paying rent. We're going to do a national rent strike, right? Or something, some sort of thing to let them know that we're serious. You know what I'm saying? And we really need to come together with all these organizations all over the country, really, to try to like organize something.
There's lawsuits too, you know, people can do it. So it's so many other things. 'Cause a lot of the seniors, I just have to speak on that. A lot of seniors, a lot of people are not for. They're comfortable with rent strikes, and it's easy to call a rent strike and you're not living it and you don't have to do it.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You know, but some people are not. Like when we did our HP action lawsuit and we filed on December 13th of 2019. A rent strike was on the table as well as a lawsuit. We went with the lawsuit because we went with what the collective wanted, you know, because there is the retaliation and
Of
you know, the
course.
things. So it's scary, but you know, we're gonna do some things. We're gonna spearhead something with One NYCHA and get it done. And you know, there's always lobbying. You know, a lot of people. I've been to Albany. And you know, it's buses that go up there, you know, but we do this over and over and over again to no avail. You know what I mean? But
we
we're gonna
need
have
a
to continue.
doozy.
Yeah, we're gonna continue.
We need a
We're
doozy.
gonna continue. No, we also gotta watch what we vote in office. That's another
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
Our representation. That's where it really comes from,
And it sucks.
right? Because at the strike of a pen, Biden can do what?
Right.
At the strike of the
Fully
pen.
Fund
At the
NYCHA.
strike of the pen.
And guess what?
Fully fund NYCHA.
But that's not happening.
And guess what? Those marches and that pressure, right? That pressure from the civil rights movement is what made Johnson sign the civil rights movement.
100%.
It was the pressure. It was the marches. It was the constant activities of the people.
The momentum.
The momentum is what did that.
Right.
It forced him. He was an out and out racist. He was an out and out racist. He used the N-word in the White House like we say thank you. But the pressure was so much that he had to sign the civil rights. Right. And that was because of one word, people
Yeah.
coming together as a mass.
Strength in numbers all the time.
So you want to get Biden on board? You want to have a national march? Then we go to Washington. And then we march peacefully. And we go to the mall. And we create the I Have a Dream scenario on the mall with all of us out there from all over the country doing this fight. That's all I'm saying.
Reverend Rock. But yeah, but it's
All of us,
needed. It's needed.
all of us
It's
out there doing that fight and having a national platform, and CNN is covering it all at one time, and all the news stations are covering it all at one time, right? Bigger than the resurrection, the resurrection when they invaded the Capitol.
Insurrection.
Stupidity.
Lord, he said a little bit. He said the resurrection. Lord, Jesus.
Bigger than the resurrection.
Ooh, Father.
Nothing is big. I'm
Father.
sorry.
The riot.
You called him a reverend, and he said resurrection.
There you go. Right? boycott day for NYCHA resident recognition.
I know Brenda's ready. Alan, it's we got to just work on.
Let's get on the phone this week and let's slug it out, y'all.
Yeah, that's work on it.
Right, and then we'll see what other organizations we can get involved with and engage with across the country.
This is a case for all y'all to get involved in,
right?
Because this is immediate. This is like if you
we're gonna do something.
Fight.
And let's slug it out and then figure out what we can do next summer. Let's go to Washington next summer, y'all.
Yes,
have a little fun.
And you know what? Along the way, you get some other things done.
Exactly.
You get some of the citywide things done.
So you guys ready to punch out?
Local. Yeah, I just want to make an announcement.
And what's happening next week and all of that? I want to know. I'm interested.
So tomorrow, Community Board 8 is having a meeting, a social justice committee meeting, and it's going to be regarding the issues within public housing. We're going to have the thoracic surgeon, Dr. Roger Flores, on. So we will be talking about, the bad conditions in NYCHA, and hopefully, with the health. And hopefully you all can join it. I'll try to put a link or something in the chat. And I'll have something posted on my page as well. It starts at 6:30. It's virtual. It's via Zoom. And it's about, the issues, the health issues in NYCHA is dangerous. So, please, if you can come out virtually, join us. I co-chair the committee. And with that said, appreciate the guests that came out. Miss Octavia, her husband.
Yeah, beautiful.
We got you. Stan and I will be working closely with you. And when we put something out, y'all, to support this family, get your boots on and come, okay?
Yeah,
I know people like to rally and come together. We planning something to work with Miss Fuller here, Miss Fuller Harris.
And Alan Cox from NYCHA says, it's a great idea and it's a challenging proposal, 100%, and it would take a hell of a lot of organizing and of an organizing operation.
Yep.
But very doable if people are committed to it.
Yeah, that's and that's where the steps come in.
That's where the steps come in.
That's where the steps
understand? Because we can do anything. Nothing's impossible. The word impossible is actually I'm possible.
And before the summer, there's a lobby day. So people should be in Albany. There's buses. I did it before. So it's buses. You leave at 5 a.m. and you go. So, and it's not always NYCHA residents. But anyway, we were about to lift off.
We're lifting off.
One NYCHA, one people.
One NYCHA, one people, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, dear.